Hi, readers. Remember the other week when we studied characters and we noticed that the author sometimes repeats important details? Well, here's the cool thing about repetition it reveals stuff about characters, sure, but it also reveals important themes or messages. Authors repeat all sorts of things, and they repeat images, objects, situations, bits of dialogue, actions, the works. These repeated parts are the author's way of saying, hey, reader, this means something. This matters. So today's goal is to grow grounded ideas by paying attention to repeated images, objects, and details. I want you to think about details that repeat in Boy in the Girl's bathroom. What are some details? You might want to list them across your fingers. Great. So I know some of you are thinking, well, bits of dialogue repeat, like ask blank if you don't believe me, or some objects that repeat are playing with figurines, right? Bradley plays with these little figurines and uses his imagination in his room. Also, the phrase last seat, last row. Now that we know that these are the threads that weave through There's a Boy in the Girl's Bathroom, we have to answer the question, well, why might Louis Sachar have decided to make these things repeat? And what's the bigger meaning? What could these represent? I'll try with the first one. Last seat, last row. Could it be that that phrase represents isolation and not fitting in? Because it's an example of Bradley's class. All the kids sit side by side, they're all together, they're listening to Mrs. Ebel, but he's like a lonely island to the side by himself. Let's move on to the next example. Ask blank if you don't believe me. How many times did Bradley say that? Several times. Well, what could that really represent? What could that bit of dialogue reveal? Try this work. Could it be great? Could it be that Bradley's defensive because he has to defend himself? No one's going to defend him because of his quote unquote bad reputation? Now, the last one, playing with figurines. What could these little objects represent? Could it be great? Could it be that these little objects really represent friendship and can represent how, even though Bradley has a very tough exterior, truly he's someone that longs for friendship and connection, just like everyone else? Great. So, boys and girls, today when you read for 45 minutes, I want you to notice any objects or details that the author is repeating. Because as you know, when an author repeats something, it's because it matters. It's really important and it was done on purpose. After you're done noticing the details that repeat, you need to ask yourself, why did the author decide to make these things repeat? And also, what is the bigger meaning? What could these details really represent? All right, readers, see you next time.